And here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Elaine Nieberding. This show is called Flock Yes. And I have just jumped on over here, albeit a few minutes later than my intended start. I've jumped on over here, just concluded a Hangout on Air program with this character, wherever she happens to be. And this character, who is here now, Jeremy Murphy. Hello.
Hello.
You know what? What is it about BLAB? I feel like I can really goof easier here. You know, I get in the. Okay, let me not downtrod all my great year on Google Plus with the Holy Shift Show. But anyway. Yay. Okay, so we just finished an hour-long show over on Google Plus, Hangouts, YouTube, and now we have flocked on over here, and we're going to do some of the same shticks we did on the last show. For example, as I was thinking about celebrating a year of having an ongoing video engagement show, like the Holy Shift Show, this song came to my mind. Now, when I was in my preteens in the late 1960s, yes, I'm an oldie but a goodie, Dionne Warwick's Walk On By was a popular tune. And so, walk on by. But today, I'm going to briefly change words and sing a little phrase and sing, flock on by, flock on by. And I'm sending my love mojo out into the universe and to Twitterland. And I'm going to hope the people that are meant to watch this program join on in, engage here, come on over to the Flocker Room. We'll do so. So right now, I'm going to say, hi, Margarita Crystal Lotus. Where you flocking out from?
I'm flocking out from Kingston, Ontario. I am landing soon with my 2 wings and my flocker robe.
Great. And Jeremy, where you flocking out from?
I'm flocking from Lincoln, Nebraska.
From Lincoln, Nebraska.
You know, the middle of the United States, almost.
Yeah.
Kansas technically is. Anyway, that's a whole other show.
Okay, so let's see. We have Scott Scowcroft. He's at least flocking on over in the viewing arena, and you're welcome to flock on in. The seat is open, Scott, if you want to jump on in for a little bit. But anyway, we're going to have a flocking good half an hour or hour or however long we are led to let this go. So let me throw this out to Margarita Crystal Lotus. Margarita Crystal Lotus, last year you came up when we were talking about F words. You came up with this great thing saying, you know what? When you're frustrated, when you got the shift hitting the fan, you know, you don't have to use bad language. You can use strong language and find a flexplative. So what are your favorite flexplatives, Margarita?
Love.
No, no, when
I love you.
I know. No, but when you're frustrated.
Give me my coffee.
What strong language comes out of your mouth, Margarita?
I like my coffee now.
Coffee.
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 Coffee. Coffee.
Coffee for the flock.
Yeah. You know
I
what?
don't know. It's like my flexible vocabulary doesn't include these kind of things except coffee. Now I'm gonna have
Coffee.
Now, you know, like it's like you know, it's for people who are frustrated. I think frustration, but frustrated flockers need flexplatives.
Flexplatives. Yes.
That's a great quote. We should put that in the comments.
Frustrated flockers need flexplatives. Yes.
Yes.
Yay!
Flock,
we did
yes.
it again.
So we have Cindy Harley who has joined us, and Cindy, you know what? Cindy is one of the fine folks that I met over through the Hangout Marketing Challenge, and on one of my earliest ventures into doing like an ongoing Hangout show. This was at the very beginning of 2014. She joined me for a little series that we were doing, exploring the book called The Desire Map, Finding Your Goals with Soul. And so, Cindy Harley, I'm so happy to see you kind of flocking on over in this neck of the woods. And I'll just ask you, we've been talking about F words and flexpletives. Like when you're frustrated, you know, do you have a strong word that you use? I have now substituted, instead of saying F-U ending in K word, I just now use flock a lot. Like flock, no. But most of the time I'd rather say flock, yes. You know, when I'm filled with finding a eureka answer, getting clarity, gaining insight on something. And I'm going to say, flock hello to Ron Snaberger. Hi, Ron.
Hey, Elaine. I didn't get on the Hangout, but I figured I'm going to join in here and say hello. And a big thank you over the past year for several things. First of all, the laughter yoga, which helped me tremendously. And second of all, the opportunity that I had, that you gave me to help you out with your hangouts with Crowdcast and what you've done and what several people have done for me, added to what I can do now. And it's all because you took the time to help me. And you can see from the beginning to what I look like now, it's a big difference and a big improvement. So I'm learning as I'm going along.
Hey, you know what? I've never seen you in a tie, in a shirt and tie before. Now, I like the other outfits, you know, but I miss your bright blue background. Do you just have it gone? What's the deal on that?
Well, the dark blue background used to show up black depending on, on the lighting, and somebody who was dealt with colors and fashions for people recommended the gray background for me. Even though I like the blue, she recommended the gray would be much better on camera. So I'm trying it to see what happens.
Well, guess what? I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. I don't. And you know what? Sometimes when you angle your screen, like on your laptop, where you can easily do that, the color resolution looks a little different. And so it may be just the way I have this screen positioned, so it doesn't show the garbage in my room outside this field, because there's a lot of it there. If I move my screen, then I'd see your color and I go, oh, perfect. But anyway, I want to thank you, Ron, because you were just willing to help. And as I was trying out the Crowdcast arena, I did not know if I was going to be able to easily watch comments and comment about them and engage with people. So your help was invaluable. And you know what? A couple days ago, in exploring and feeling into where I might be doing shows in the days ahead, I may have even said something like, oh, Crowdcast is going to be, they're doing work with a new video player that is going to be part of like a paid service that they have. It sounds like the use of Hangouts within Crowdcast is going to remain available. Now, whether there's a fee attached to that, I'm not sure. We'll be seeing, but I am absolutely relieved to hear that, because there's a lot of power in the reach of Hangouts. You know, you can still do a Hangout and have thousands and thousands of people attend, and have the, you know, the engagement factor, but also the accessibility factor of enrolling through Twitter. This is not fun conversation. Enough of this.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
a question. I'm frustrated now. And I want to share the Twitter feed, and they've changed the whole scenario on
It's
BLAB here. How do we share the event?
Margarita, over on the left, it says "Tell a Little Bird" at the top there.
It doesn't. There's no bird there.
Well, there should be.
There should be.
There is a way to undo the black and make it flip back to the white background, but I can't.
Yeah, only on.
How do you do that, Ron? Do you know?
Only on the comment, and all you have to do where it says "Send a message" down at the bottom, type / and the word "light."
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
that'll change it. And Margarita, over on the left side, there should be, it's in black with white lettering, says "Tell a Little Bird" and the blue bird, and you should be able to. You don't see it?
I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't know, but anyway, Elaine, I gotta go. I just wanted to get on, and I wanted to say, you know, congratulations and thank you, and many more years of you doing what you're doing here, and I'll be popping in from time to time. So I'm going to leave so somebody else can get in.
And
bye, everybody.
I will keep you alerted about the laughter shows too. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. And so, yeah, that was nice that Ron could pop in. And once again, he's involved with this this community called the Circadians. They do 2 blabs a day where they're explaining, especially for all the new folks finding their way, flocking in over to BLAB, like how to learn the BLAB basics. So that's a great thing. So I now see we have had a couple of other people arrive. We've had Fred Aubin come in, and Beth, the sausage lady, is here. Hi, Beth. Thank you for flocking on in. So my name is Elaine Nieberding, and we're just doing a fun hangout kind of celebration for me, having a year-long series over on Google Plus and Hangouts called the Holy Shift Show. But we're bringing some of that conversation over here to BLAB, you know, and bringing these communities to meet with new people who have, you know, been on Twitter and also want to, you know, play in this new video playground. There was a question here, even by you, Jeremy. Were you asking, what is the Desire Map?
Yes. Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
Okay, so well known, well, by some people, New York Times bestselling author Danielle Laporte has written a couple different books on processes for personal transformation. One was called the Firestarter series, or Firestarter, something like that. And in that book, she actually shared something about a process that she had started doing in her own life, and that was when it came close to the start of a new year, she would, you know, not only think about the usual goal setting that people do or goal review that they do at the beginning of a year, but it occurred to her, you know what? I really want to get in touch with, for each one of these goals that I seem to have, like, what are the ways I want to feel when I'm experiencing that or achieving that? And so she came to recognize that if we do inner exploration, we can come up with like 5 core desired feelings that if we're feeling those things every day, that sense of vibrancy, that vibe, that resonance that we're carrying actually kind of attracts more and more of the elements of the vision that we have, the goal that we want to achieve. It attracts that to us because we're allowing those feelings of success, you know.
Sure.
If my core feelings are joy, love, focus, exhilaration, and passion. And if I start my day setting my intention, you know, I want to open to the fullness of feeling these things, then actually you're more likely to. And then your feeling of success, it's like it's in the now. It's in the day that you're experiencing. You're not pushing your experience of success off into just the accomplishment of a task or the reaching of a goal, you know, by some analytics or something. So she's got this book, The Desire Map, and she invited people and got, I think, 500 or more people to form book clubs.
Wow.
When the book was being launched. And so some people were doing them in physical locations, churches, you know, rooms at home, churches, and some people were doing them online. And so I decided, you know what, this would be a great way for me to practice hosting a hangout show. So I hosted the Desire Map Book Club, and they weren't public hangouts, they were private hangouts. So people found their way to me. I did my first training on how to get people into hangouts, and then they participated. So
Cool.
Cindy was a part of that. She was a part of that. And Dave Moore is here, so I'm going to let him on in. And Fred Aubin says, nobody ever pronounces my last name correctly. So, Fred, I'm going to invite you to spell it phonetically in the comment stream so that I can pronounce it correctly. And we can broadcast to the whole flocking world. Flock, yes, his name is said. Okay, so, and thank you, Cindy Harley, for sending along your congratulations. And yeah, you got to go. Well, thanks for coming on by. See you around the BLAB. All right, let's let Dave Moore in. I am letting you in. There you go.
Hey.
And Dave, Flock, yes, you have decent bandwidth today.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I was
I'm fully functional and plugged into the interweb.
Into the interweb. Now, are you said you were in London, so are you actually in London as opposed to by your home base?
Oh yeah, I'm in Chingford in East London, Northeast London, near Essex it is. So yeah, this is where my other house is here. So I'm doing a bit of decorating, and I thought, here I am. And I've got a guy that I used to coach up here, and he called me and said, was I up here? So that's why I had to leave a little bit earlier, just to briefly go through something with him, which I prefer to do in person rather than. But anyway, yeah, that was a good show. Back when the show was on, and not like a year ago, like I said, you know. But it's good fun. You had a lot of people watching by the look of it, I could tell. So I think you had a lot of replays as well, I would imagine. So
when I think of all the people who have been on my Hangouts on Air panels over the last year, I'm going to go through my mind and tell the audience who is watching live or replay, all of them that are doing blabs. Okay, so we know that Stan Bush is doing blabs, and Ron Snaberger is doing blabs. Chef Dennis Litley is doing blabs, and Nazim Beltrain has been doing some, and Jeremy Murphy is, you know, you're getting exploratory over here. And Candy Javier Sakai she was one of the BLAB pioneers, and I didn't even know that. It took me a while to kind of get over here. Apparently BLAB was launched, I guess it was sometime in maybe March or April, and Mia Voss and Chef Dennis Litley, were the two big name Hangout hosts over on Google Plus that got a clear feeling that they were going to pivot, so to speak, and move their shows on over. And then as those of us still over on Hangouts got curious, we also began seeing the power in this platform. So it is a lot of fun. Margarita Crystal Lotus, she was on my very first BLAB with me, and that was great fun. So we've been doing more. And okay, let me just invite other people who are watching.
Can I just ask you something about these BLABs?
Yes, please do.
I see you on the top left, me on the top right, and Jeremy in the bottom left. Is that how everybody sees them? Do you see that the same?
What? Yeah, it actually may be different when it's in replay. And you know what? Jeremy, if any of you opened another tab to watch this, you might see whether it's the same or whether it's different. But what we do know is when somebody new comes in, they kind of flip around. They do flip around.
It does remind you of the Brady Bunch opening credits, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. And anyway, Jeremy, I've just made you a co-host. Just in the remote chance that I get knocked out or kicked out or something, you could keep this going. You could end the BLAB as well. And so, Dave, is this like your first or second BLAB that you've been on?
No. I think this is the fourth. This is the fourth.
Okay.
I've done. So I'm still sort of finding my feet. But I jumped in on one that Cynthia Basing did on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And then I watched one with a few people. I ended up on there with a few people I didn't know. But the next one was Sherry Valentine's one, I think. Mm-hmm. And then I was on one with Jeremy. So I don't know, this is the fourth or fifth one. It's a pretty easy format, really. It's there's no, once you're downloaded or you've got the link to BLAB, to go straight in, it does it as well. The only thing I think it will do, which I think will be a good thing, not the only thing, but I think one of the good things that will come out of this is that Apple, I think, will up their game a little bit and increase the battery life of an iPhone. Because as soon as you look at it on there, you can hear your battery ticking away. As you got to be continually plugged into the mains when you're looking at it. It's a big drain, but it's so immediate. If I can get onto it and find my way out, it's got to be easy.
Yeah, I was always surprised that you were somewhat of a technophobe, and we're getting a lot of people to set things up for you. This is easy. This is easy.
I don't mind giving things to people to do. Because I'll do it in 10 minutes and I'll be like a month later going, what was it again?
Now, so first of all, when you're a BLAB host, a usual thing to do is periodically say, okay, folks, tell a little bird, tweet this on out so we can get some more viewers if you're experiencing some value. Or you like the host and, you want to support their work, you say, tweet it on out. And so we have a couple people watching incognito. So, hey, folks, my name is Elaine Nieberding, and welcome to the Flocker Room over on BLAB. The Flocker Room is the term of endearment I use for the green room space for the Holy Shift Show that I've been hosting over on Google Plus and Hangouts on air on YouTube and Google Plus. But the BLAB arena is here, and so we wanted to move the Flucker Room on over here, gain some new audiences. So, so Jeremy, if you were to describe me in a couple words, and if there are reasons why people should come to hang out in the Flock Arena, what would they be?
Well, I guess the way I would put it is, Elaine, you're a connector like few people I've ever known, and I don't know how you do it. I'm kind of fascinated with it, actually, but you're great at facilitating discussion. You're good at people. Looks like Heidi's coming. I'll let her in. You're good at getting us to laugh and be less serious, but also
seriousness.
Also willing to deal with serious topics when it's merited, but trying to direct us towards finding happiness and laughter to try to transform and improve our lives. That's how I would answer it.
Well, thank you. And you know what? I've come to realize that I need to get a lot more comfortable in my work and business with asking. I know there about some things I don't do asking well. Like at the end of the last show over on Hangouts on Air, I was talking about, gaining feedback from folks. I haven't been doing that in a consistent way. I've been relying on my intuition and just a little bit of analytics to figure out, new show topics from week to week. But Dave, let me ask you, do you have regular ways that you would gain feedback, from either clients or audiences or like participants at your HBT transformation weekend workshops?
Yeah, we ask. I don't think you can rely on people to come forward and say, what was great. Sometimes they go, "Oh, I really enjoyed this. I really feel great." So nobody ever comes forward and says to you, I didn't get it. What is it? I don't understand this bit. There's pressure from other people in those sort of environments that if someone puts a hand up and says, "I don't get it," everybody that does get it is going to go look at them really strange. But here, I think what you have to do is ask people for feedback. And there is nothing wrong with asking people who are satisfied for a referral to somebody else and get an introduction to them, because so many companies don't use this or don't use their customers, because your customers are your best advertisers. It's the best advertisement you can have is a satisfied customer who has no vested interest. He's not going to gain anything out of it. But say, I went to this show, I went to this seminar, and it was great. It really helped me. You should go. And if you can get them on film doing that, that's even better. There's nothing wrong with asking people for feedback. There's nothing wrong with asking people for help. And one thing I find that social media like Google Hangouts and now this is that there's no secrecy. There's not, somebody does something and they don't say, well, it's a need to know basis. If you just ask somebody, how do you do a lower third on your Google Hangout? Someone will tell you. How do you set up? Someone will tell you. And you said about Mia Voss, you sat with Mia Voss and she told you a lot about the Hangouts for nothing back. It's just an inclusivity in this social media, I think, is fantastic, because anybody that is a solopreneur or in business on their own is solo no more. You can just go online and get help from a lot of people you don't know who are not afraid to share it. So always ask. As my nan said, if you don't ask, you don't get.
You don't ask, you don't get. So, yeah. I probably need to feel into how I will develop some other asking methods to create new products and develop new programs, etc. So I'm glad that I could weave a little fun back on into this. looked behind me and I realized that, you know, I had a little prop, and so I ought to take a picture of this one. Anyway, we like to goof, and I want to say hi to Heidi Hornline, a good friend with the Wisdom Factory, with the Wisdom Factory over on Google Plus. She talks her programs with her husband Mark Davenport. Help people feel into the wisdom of gleaning into things that she's learned from the works of Ken Wilber and integral approach to life. And so I could ask Dave's alter ego here.
Say my name.
Yeah, it's Heisenberg. Didn't you tell me it was Heisenberg? Are you the creator of the Heisenberg principle?
Yeah, I am.
You are.
Yeah, that's a delicatessen outside of New York.
You mean the Heisenberg pickle?
That's the one.
Oh, man.
I usually get myself into some sort of principle.
Yeah.
I look serious at the moment.
Well, those were the days when you were using hair color on your beard, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a grow one.
Did you actually do that, Dave?
What's that? Grow a beard?
No, use hair color on your beard.
No, never.
No. Okay.
It wouldn't match my hair. I'm just glad that I've still got hair.
No, well, are you meaning to say that your beard stayed brown and your top hair got gray?
Oh, no, I was colour coordinated. You know, the curtains and the carpet matched. Let's say that. Oh, God.
Flock on by. Or I'll sing to you, Dave. You're so
Really?
flockable. Oh, yes, you are. You're so flockable. Come near or far. Okay. Oh, that's it.
I feel like
That's
a cigarette now.
I want to. Yeah. That's later, Dave. Anyway, this morning when I was, thinking about the unfoldment of the day and the 1-year anniversary of the Holy Shift Show, another song came to mind, and I think somebody help me. Which group sang this? Celebration. Now, come on.
Cool in the Gang.
Cool in the Gang. Okay. So the new version is Flockabration. Now come on. This is Flockabration. Flockabration. Now come on. It's a Flockabration.
Just one slip of the tongue and this could go X-rated.
I got to hand it to you, though. Your creativity with changing words is off the charts.
See, this is what I mean. You wanted words to describe you.
Yeah.
I mean, no one can match the amount of words that you come out with.
Right.
So this morning, really, I was just a flocking mess this morning. I was feeling like I was in a frenzy. But there was a time a week or two ago when I realized the word frenzy, or the sounds that come out like frenzy, could also be friends. See? So when you're in a frenzy, what do you need to do? You probably need to hook on up with your friends, see your friends, listen to your friends, find your friends. Open up a BLAB, and have it turn into the flocker room and see who will flock on by. Flock on by.
The last thing you want to do first thing in the morning is start on a downer. And I can't imagine anybody starting a downer when they've got you at the other end of the internet. You raise the you know, raise a level of anything. You know, it's an infectious show that you have. Let's put it like that.
Contagious in a good way, right?
Yeah. If you're in a flockaroonie, you know, you've heard of a flockaroonie, haven't you?
A flocker.
If people get into a flockaroonie.
Oh, I got a new one.
That's Mickey Rooney's brother, flockaroonie.
No, you know what? Andy Rooney, Flockaroonie. One
Mickey
of my, yeah, Mickey Rooney. He's a little older. Yeah. But I love desserts that have coconut in them. And I like coconut macaroons. So if you create a new recipe for coconut macaroons and you invite a whole bunch of your favorite friends to flock together to create it, you will create flockaroons, right?
There you go.
Flockaroons. So if anybody would like to create a flockaroon recipe and send it this way, please do. Flockaroons. Let's see. Hey, let's also create a recipe for flockaroni and cheese. You know what? I think I'm coming up with ideas for my next shows.
You can have a flockaroni on Swiss.
Wait,
free yourself from flockaroni and cheese.
Flockaroni and cheese. Okay. And
with freedom on the side.
And with what?
With freedom on the side.
Okay. Flockaroons. Okay, so let's see.
Do you want flocking fries with that?
Let's see. Yeah. Flock fries. Flock fries.
Meet the Flockers. Yeah, that's a good film.
Yeah. Actually, their name was the Fockers. Meet the Fockers. But it could have been the Flockers. Right. Yeah. So, you know, we could
funnier if it were the Flockers, I think. You know, then you have bird jokes, you know, and there are all these bird lovers in the world, and I still haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. I'm a bird lover though. The Flockers would have attracted me more.
Flockers would have attracted you more. There you go. Okay. So let's see. One of my favorite shows that we did in December of last year, it was called Go Elf Yourself. And the people that came on the show, you know, were sharing stories about, you know, elves and dwarves and dressing up like elves, you know, during the Christmas season. Margarita Crystal Lotus shared stories about her childhood. You know, she was one of these people that grew up with this expanded vision. You know, so she would see elemental beings and little fairies and little sprites that she experienced a sense of communion with. And so, yes, she shared her own elf stories. But William Rock, and Dave, you know, beloved William came on and shared his stories about working in a Santa's village when he was still in high school. And when he started working at the Santa's village, which was also anyway, it was a big set of grounds, but he I guess he was operating the snack bar, but everybody who worked in Santa's village had to wear an elf costume. I mean, that's what you wore when you worked there. So he shared some great stories with us, and William Rock has just a warm heart and a gentle spirit and just a vast, incredible knowledge about website internet security and search engine optimization, and he's one of the fabulous people that I've come to know. And I hope we hope he will find his way on over to more blabs. I now see that Lynn Sanders is here. Lynn, come on in, sister. There she comes. This may be her very first blab. I hope she's got enough
Hey, Elaine.
bandwidth. Hey, babe, you got enough bandwidth. You're here.
Do I have it? Say yes, Tom. Okay. Do it. Yeah.
Yeah. You're good. You're good.
Oh,
And so,
to see Dave and Jeremy here. Wow.
yeah.
This is my
Yeah.
third blab.
Yay! It's fun. You know, easy to get on, easy to create shows like on the fly. You know, if you're doing nothing and you want to test out an idea or just see who's hanging out, you know, you could just put on a show and see if some folks show up. And if they don't,
I just toast Elaine Nieberding.
Thank you.
As all of you are. I'm doing just to say, I think for some reason the sound is a little soft for me, but I wanted to just say, Elaine, how much I am so gratified to know you and how much I've enjoyed your programs and also just your spirit, which emanates with all this love and joy and laughter. So I had to add that. And I'm glad to see Dave here. You've attracted really fantastic energy between Dave and Jeremy, and I'm sure there are many others who are popping in or listening. So I just want to say thank you
yeah.
for everything you do.
So Lynn and I got to know each other when we were first diving into doing this video stuff. And that was in the Hangout Marketing Challenge. And then we got to meet each other in person when there was a live Hangout intensive out in California. And Lynn was like a semi-finalist for this contest they were having. And she had to do a speech. And so we were hotel mates. And it was a very interesting evening. You were trying to figure out, what in the flock am I really going to say? And how is it going to come off? And flock, yes, I'm scared to do this.
Exactly.
And that was when we started playing with the release technique, where it's all about meeting every feeling that you have, any energy pattern of resistance that's coming up. And you say to each one of this, I love you. I really love you. You can stay or you can go, but I really love you. And that was a wonderful experience for me, wanting to encourage and support. And, you know, we all have these days where we don't think we have our shift together, you know, and we doubt ourselves and we forget our goodness and our capacities. And you were in one of those states. And when you did that talk, Lynn, there were I don't remember. There were 5 finalists, something like that.
Right.
It was, and it wasn't just because I was helping, coach you and get you back out of your fear place, but when you did your presentation in front of that audience of a couple hundred people live, and it was also being broadcast, that was live streamed
Right.
to Alex Mendosian's group All Around the Planet, you were fine. In fact, you were on fire.
Well, you know, I think what it comes down to is you really demonstrated for me, Elaine, how we can choose our emotions very clearly. And I had just reverted. I don't know, Jeremy, how much you're involved with, energy work. I know Dave is.
Not.
Well, it's really what Elaine did. She did Reiki on me. It's an energy healing format. But I think many people just let their emotions take over. And I had not expected to speak on stage the next day. You know, if I had planned it, it would be one thing. And all of a sudden they told us we're the, top 5 finalists, stand up and you have to speak on stage tomorrow and you can't use your notes. And I was just petrified. So Elaine, really showed me that you don't have to choose to be scared. You can, but you can work through it. And I'm very grateful for that because I certainly didn't want to back out and just say I wasn't going to speak. That isn't my style, but I like everything prepared. So she got me in this calm space. And then when it was time, and of course they called me first, I was nervous already, but I got in this calm space and it was like nothing else mattered. And I asked this man who coached me if he could just hold up the time, because we had a time limit of 3 minutes. If we went over by 1 second, we were disqualified. So we had to speak exactly no more than 3 minutes. So I had sort of holding up the time, and then I just spoke from my heart. I held notes clutched in my hand as a security blanket. I didn't look at them, and it worked out fine. And so I think what that really taught me was, okay, it's okay to have fears, but work through them, and we can choose how we want to behave and how we want to act in the face of fear, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure, Dave, you must do that all the time with walking on coals, right?
The strange thing is, I mean, I've got to go. The dogs are barking outside. I don't know what they're doing. But the thing is, if you rehearse, you know, because my programs are the same with differences within each one, but the basic structure is there. With the firewalks, yeah, there's you deal with fear. You do, when I was first doing it, some of the exercises that people do to walk on fire, they do with their eyes closed. So they really internalize and get into, you know, understanding when you say to them, stand the way you would stand if you were depressed, miserable, you know, and then they've got their eyes closed and they shift their weight and they move their body slightly, and you get them to understand the way they're standing. And then you say, now stand the way you would stand if you were uncertain, and then they shift again. So it's getting them to understand. They create the moods that have got in their mind. It triggers, but if you want to enjoy it, you've got to do depression or uncertainty or, you know, being fed up. If you want to enjoy those, you've got to do them correctly, and you've got a strategy for doing them. And if you don't do that strategy right, you don't get the full benefit of feeling frightened. You don't get the full benefit of feeling upset or miserable. So we create them. And so when people understand that, it gives them more control of their body, and it gives them more control of their feelings. But when I was training people, I told them to do the same trick that I did. It's a 2.5 hour training session for the firewalk. And when you do the eyes closed, the first thing I said to people was, close your eyes, and if you can see me, you're doing it wrong. And so then they would close their eyes. And then one time, this guy said to me, wow, you know, this is really timed, isn't it? Because I kept opening my eyes slightly and you kept looking at your watch. What he didn't know was that I had written on the side of my watch a little sticky label with one-word prompts of the whole thing. And so when they closed their eyes, I was, what next? Right. And that's how I've done the first ones. And he just reframed it as if I was concerned that it was the optimum heat outside for them to walk on. So it's very difficult to do it without notes. And I don't know any of the big trainers who do it without notes. I don't know anyone, Anthony Robbins, anyone. They've got their screens with their notes on as a PowerPoint. Right. But yeah, it's no safety net without notes. That's the thing. That is the, you know, anything can happen, and you've got, if you're clued up, you're prepared for it, as I'm sure you were. It's great to see you again.
It's great to see you. Great.
Elaine, I've got to go, but I will say, anybody that's not tuning in to Difference Makers on Friday, you are missing something.
You've got to see this. Do you know Teresa de Grosbois, Dave? No,
I don't. I think I remember that name. Who's this?
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I met, just real briefly, I was referred to her, and I cold called her, and she's a pretty major influential leader. And I'm glad I did not read her book until after our conversation, because it's her book. It's just released, Mass Influence, The Habits of the Highly Influential. It's how to properly engage with high influencers, and she is one of them. And I think I was guided to say the right things. And I asked her, I said, I was referred to her, and I have a lot of things in common. Would she even consider being on our program? She's a 3 times award-winning best-selling author, international speaker, and trainer. She started the Evolutionary Business Council to help transformational leaders around the world, and has something called the Wildfire Academy, where she helps, business leaders. So she just paused. And Elaine, I think you would like this. I asked her if she would be on the program, and she said, let me think. And I felt that she was asking her spirit guides. And then she said, I think I should do this. I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah, great.
She's going to be on, and she's going to do live coaching. She just told me today she's going to do live coaching. We've never done this before on the program.
You read the book, Lynn?
I'm almost done with it. It just came out October 1st.
Well, it definitely works because you've influenced me to go and order it on Amazon.
Oh, it's really
There you go.
well. You wait.
I
Wait.
won't have it delivered until Saturday after the program.
Yeah. No, really, you got to come. I hope you can come even for part of the time because she's very dynamic, but also very down to earth. Yeah. I found her very easy to talk to. She didn't seem like she was, up on a.
Well, let me think. Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, I'm giving you lots of claps for that.
His arm, right?
So Dave, I know you're going to head out, so I'm going to end out with sending you off with some wordplay. As you fly through the rest of your day, right? Yeah. Infused with the energy and love of the Flocker Room, may it lift you so you can have a flockoramic view of the world and just feel and sense how you fit in and get to carry on and sail through your day, continuing to bless everybody, because I believe that.
Well, Elaine, I'm intoxicated by the exuberance of your sophisticated philosophy because you never deviate from the fundamental principles of exactitude. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye, Dave.
Rock on, Dave.
See you, Dave.
Bye. Elaine, I'm going to have to go also. I have an appointment, but I want to say thank you for letting me join here, and it's just a pleasure as always.
Feel free, before you leave, put on the link where people can go if they would like to participate in your Difference Maker Summit.
How do I do that? I couldn't do this. I couldn't write anything in here.
No, you see where it says send a message?
No, I'm sorry. I'm not as versed as you are in this.
Okay. On the right panel,
I see send a message.
Down at the bottom where it says send a message, just take your cursor, click on there.
Okay, I could do that.
And then if you went somewhere to grab the URL, or if you just know the URL,
I know it by
then
heart.
you can just type it in. So give a description first, like, hey, I got a great summit with a show happening tomorrow, blank, and then the URL.
Okay, thank you so much for the education here.
Yep.
Okay, I'll write that in. I missed what you had said earlier with Jeremy. I'd like to hear something from Jeremy if he would be willing to share something about himself. Let's see.
So Jeremy, flock on. Open your mouth. Say something.
Well,
enlighten the world.
We talked about this a little bit on the other show, but a year ago, I lost my job and I had no idea what to do with my life. And Elaine and others were very helpful in helping me find my path and realize, that I didn't want to be a traditional courtroom attorney anymore, and that I wanted to actually be a coach and a writer, to write books, to take my creativity and do something with it. I was being boxed in and was only blogging, but that wasn't enough. I had all this material. And so, Elaine and others have helped me, recapture that creativity, move a different direction and pivot. And I want to thank Elaine for helping me shift my perspective. That was a very powerful thing to be able to do that. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't had Elaine's influence and others, to learn how to relax, lighten up, laugh, smile. People think I'm too serious, so I'm trying to turn the dial on that a little bit back to the smiling side.
That's beautiful.
And Jeremy, you have a daughter, right?
Yes.
And so you're still in touch with, the exuberance of youth that has not yet been conditioned out, because as we grow, cultural and societal factors tend to dampen a whole lot of our joy and even, creative potential. So one of the things I like to do with my shows is say, let's loosen up, let's dump seriousness, let's have fun as we support each other through these, as I call them, holy shift times, paradigm shifting times. There's just a lot going on. And Lynn has now added that she is hosting a Difference Maker Summit. And these are shows that you're airing on the Hangouts on Air platform on Google
Right,
Plus. Is that
right.
correct?
Now I may do a BLAB beforehand, but I'm doing it through the Google Hangouts on Air, and I put a link that goes directly to the Google page, and you can click yes if you're attending, or maybe if you want to watch later, and then you'll get a notification of the program.
But what we can tell people is, if you aren't, if you don't have a Google account, you can still watch a program that's airing on Google Plus. You won't have the ability to comment in the comment stream. You can still watch there. And because the programs are also linked to YouTube, if you click on the video player on YouTube, you can also, just pop it on up and watch it in the YouTube window. And for some people, especially if they're on a mobile device, sometimes that's a little easier. I want to say hi to Matt Gale. Hi, Matt Gale.
I'm going to have to go. I'm sorry, Elaine, because I have to do another session.
No, it's life. You have to flock on elsewhere.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Hi, Matt Gale. We're just talking about largely what can happen.
Yeah, her name is Jackie. I know Jackie. I've met her here on BLAB. So okay. I don't mean to interrupt, but she's saying that, and I'm trying to keep up with both.
Ambassador for Wellness. Well, birds of a feather flock together. So you are welcome to come on in. We have an open seat. Yay! Good. I get to meet a new BLAB lady. And Jackie, it's possible we may have even talked and I don't remember. And excuse me, but thank you for being here.
It happens to me all the time, Elaine.
Okay. Well, hi.
I do recognize Jeremy, and he's a sweetheart, and I'll follow him anywhere. I'll flock with him anywhere.
Yeah.
Part of Jeremy's flock.
So when it comes to people who have a focus on want to encourage others to bring their lives into balance, feel into their core for their passions, get real with their emotions, and into wellness stuff, I like to say birds of a feather flock together. And so, Jackie, I'm going to sing to you. You're so flockable. Oh, yes, you are. You're so flockable. You've come here from near or far. Anyway, we goof a lot when we get together on my show. So I was glad I could sing to you to welcome you. So tell me, where are you flocking out from?
I flock in from San Diego, California. Born and bred California girl. I just keep moving a little further south and a little further south. I guess I'll be in Mexico next. But I've been in San Diego about 14 years. Prior to that, I was 35 years in Orange County area. So,
and I'll tell you, San Diego sure is a hotbed of, people involved with internet marketing, social media, lots of conferences and gatherings out there. Do you, have you been involved in that? Have you flocked to some of them? As you have, veered on out into communicating via medium such as this?
I have, not as many as I would have liked to. I've just been in direct sales about 5 years. So prior to that, I was in corporate America for 35 years with a headset and a phone plugged in my ear 10 or 12 hours a day. So I'm just stretching my wings, I guess, this last 5 years, trying to find my place in retirement. And the economy is not making that easy. So it's necessary for me to make an income. It just doesn't have to be as big as it used to was. So
yeah. I like that. Used to was. I'm no longer sole source of income and a single mom and those kinds of things. But I'm just overwhelmed with the possibilities out there. For many years, my possibilities were getting up at 5:30, punching a clock, and getting home at 6 o'clock at night. And that was my tunnel vision. That's all I saw for me
Being brought up in a blue collar family, the only way you made money was to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was certainly nobody in my family tree that was going to leave me a fortune, and I didn't have a rich uncle and those kinds of things. So I knew that my destiny had to come from me. And so I worked hard and I loved what I did. It was hard work, but it was rewarding. And then along came this thing called direct sales, and it was like, what the hell is this? And I sold handbags for 5 years, and I don't even like handbags. So that was a real stretch for me. I mean, a purse to me was...
Next time, sell something that you're...
Well, I am now. That I'm very passionate about health and wellness, only because I had some serious health issues. And I'm a 37-year cancer survivor, ovarian cancer survivor. So that left me with some pretty serious digestive issues 37 years later. So that's how I happened to become a ambassador for Plexus Worldwide, which is a health and wellness supplement company. But regardless of that, it's just a pleasure to be able to do something that I feel so passionately about, and it's not for everybody. I don't want to be the fuller brush guy going door to door, going buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. I just want to share my story, and if it works for somebody else, the pleasure in that is, when you see somebody that has resigned themselves to a lifetime of illness, because I really do believe there are people out there that just want to be miserable, and they thrive on it. Yep. But when you find people that have tried lots of things and nothing has worked, and then Plexus works for them, well, I'm telling you, it's a great day. And I get a far more joy out of that than I do the paycheck that comes on the 15th of the month. It's knowing that somebody has hope, and they feel better than they felt in years, and they can reintroduce themselves to their family and their social life and things that they had been taken away from them for so many years. And I was one of those people that had just said, well, I'm 67 years old. I guess I'm going to feel like shit for the rest of my life, and that's what you get for surviving cancer. And, it was just that resignation that I guess that this is what you expect in your 60s. And I had no idea I could feel as good as I feel.
That's amazing. I want to make a little comment, because I'm noticing it's 4:04 on this. I almost said hangout. It's not a hangout. It's a blab.
It's a blab.
It's at 4:15, because then I'm going to be packing up my little suitcase, going over to Ma and Pa's house for the evening and overnight. I'm sorry?
I said, how nice.
Yeah. Mom is 96. Dad is 97. And I'm involved with overseeing their care and participating in their care 3 to 4 days a week. And I'm in communication with the other caregivers who are with them every day. So that's a big part of my life. I'm also a former bedside cancer nurse, and I'm still a holistic health and wellness educator and a teacher of Laughter for Health practices. So what I've come to learn, though, is people, when they're on the cancer journey, I mean, you can get your cancer treated and go into remission, but you then still have the rest of your life to deal with, and your fears and your worries, and your scheduled tests and all that stuff. And it is important to find groups, flocks of support who help you get through, and who you can be real and your honest, even vulnerable self, about your challenges and your fears, because that's the way. First of all, if you're not just keeping your stuff all pent up, you set it free. As you're communicating about your experience with others, you're just getting more comfortable with this whole place of self-acceptance on a daily basis, wherever you are. And that's what sets the stage for making a shift into feeling better, discovering something new, saying, aha, you're the person I came to meet, in this gathering today, and you're so helpful. So this is what finding the flocks that fit for you are important. And sometimes we just need to nudge each other and encourage each other. And when we do find groups of people who do help lift us, then we need to acknowledge that, stay in touch with them. And that's kind of the basis of what my Holy Shift Show has been about. Finding ways that we can continue encourage each other, and even in the midst of trial and challenge, like going through cancer treatment, really deciding you can have fun in spite of all that stuff going on, or you can resolve to shift your beliefs and say, this experience doesn't preclude joy. I can find joy right in the midst of this.
Absolutely. I said early on in my diagnosis, I said, I may die of something, but it's not going to be cancer. So I did some crazy ass things that I would have never done otherwise. I got on the back of a motorcycle in Santa Ana, California, with my then husband's best friend, and we drove all the way to Northern California, visiting his family and my family along the way. And 13 hours on the back of a motorcycle, I can tell you, it's very much like horseback riding and being battle sore. But I would no more do that today than I would fly. But it was just one of those things where you thought, you know what, if I don't do it now, when? And I also had a 7-year-old daughter at the time. So we just kind of chose to treat it like the flu. And, some days Mom didn't feel good, and other days she felt fine. And on the days we felt fine, we just went and did everything that we could. And so it's not.
And that was decades ago.
Yeah. I was so lucky. I was so very lucky. I had an amazing team of doctors. And it was 4.5 years of chemo and 6 weeks of radiation and 3 surgeries. And, 37 years later, here I am. So I'm blessed because of it. It really forced me to do some soul searching and growing up and defining really early on. At 29, I'm not sure that, other than being a young mom, at 29, I didn't have a whole lot of focus. But it really forces you to take a look at what you have left to draw from.
Yeah. So, Jackie, I want to thank you for being willing to pop on in, get acquainted, and share your story. That's what this arena is really wonderful for. We can uplift and inspire each other's with the stories that we share. I want to say hi to Skip Bieber. Hi, Skip. I know you over from Google Plus, and I'm happy to see you found your way on over to BLAB. We are just about winding up this BLAB, which has been my 1-year anniversary flockabration of hosting the Holy Shift Show, and I do believe I'm going to continue to carry on the programs over there on Google Plus, but also we've, pre and post shows over here on BLAB. I do want to alert any of the audience watching live or replay. I have a new ongoing series called Declutter Day. It will mostly be offered on Mondays, and we're inviting people to come in because nearly everybody has clutter issues in one form or another. It's either physical clutter, or it's files on your computer clutter, or it's email clutter, or it's like learning how to manage your Twitter followers, or especially if you have big audiences that you're growing online. It's all management. And so on Monday, that was yesterday of this week, we started exploring the Marie Kondo New York Times bestseller book, which is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And she actually provides a method where if you commit to it over the span of 6 months or more, and going through and, you know, clearing out a lot of stuff. You do it, but you're doing it with the intention of creating environments for yourself where everything that's around you expresses beauty and sparks
I love
joy. And most of the time when we're engaged with, you know, our clearing out processes, you know, we're still in the guilt for collecting so much stuff that as we're throwing stuff away, it's like, gotta get rid of this and gotta get rid of this. And that's very different than going through a process where as you're clearing stuff out, you hold it, you sense, like, does this spark joy for me? Yes or no? And maybe a lot of the stuff, it's like, it's no. But then, you know, you kind of acknowledge in gratitude, you know, thank you for being part of my life, for providing me with some experience at whatever time. But now it's just clear that we want to simplify our lives and experience joy more often, and mostly not just be able to find stuff that has utility in our life, but just more consistently experience joy and upliftment, you know, and a sense of connection, you know, maybe even feeling the holy in everything around us. Anyway, I am going to end this program now. Jackie, thank you for coming on by. Do you host? Do you host some shows? Are you?
I'm starting to really random titles, you know, but I'm hoping to do a weekly show here very soon.
Okay, good. Feeling your way, and you know, we learn a lot by watching others saying, "Oh, I like the way they do that," or they have the tempo, or the whatever. So we'll be on the lookout for what else you're going to do.
Great. Thanks so much for having me. Bye, Jeremy. Good to see you.
Welcome. Good to see you.
And so, Jeremy, you've reminded me I should post the link to the next Declutter show right here so people can subscribe right away. Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to end the broadcast, but invite people who are watching to just stick around for a minute. I'm going to, on another tab, find that link and put it on in here. And of course, my Twitter handle is Laughing Elaine. So also, if you are wondering what I might be up to or what's coming up next, if you type in blab.im/Laughing Elaine, you'll see any of the other shows that I might be doing, as well as declutter ones, because you never know. You know, I might just, well, feel into my freedom to honor any inner nudge I get to, like, host another show on the fly or in the future. So with this, I would like to say sayonara. Flock, yes, folks. I hope you'll join me again for some other blabs. I hope you'll join Jeremy when you notice his blabs coming on up. And feel into the flock abilities, you know, the possibilities that you can experience in your growth, sharing your message, sharing your passion, and connecting with folks all the way around, because, folks, it's time to be uplifting each other during these holy shift times. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Congratulations. Bye.
Bye.